LotusFlare has been a member of the Open Gateway project for several years, and we have been very active in the telecom API monetization space for about 4 years. LotusFlare has built a full-stack cloud-native digital BSS in-house with all the major components, including charging, billing, catalog, etc. And we have adapted that for use by CSPs to accelerate their movement into API monetization. So we provide essentially the L1 components that are necessary for telecom operators to stand up their own API marketplace. We are members of the Kamara project as well. And a couple of things that we have pioneered in this area include consent management. So we have a fully built out in-house consent capture and consent management solution. Over the past year or so, we've seen significant movement in the market. Essentially, it's moved from POCs to strategic acceleration. We've seen this with our clients at T-Mobile US, where we power the DevEdge marketplace at T-Mobile, and with Deutsche Telekom with their MACE platform, which is Magenta API Capability Exposure. More and more operators are moving quicker into this area, really trying to get some results and an ROI on their 5G network build-outs coming through the API monetization. We've seen some initial trials with developers and with enterprises as well that are going quite well. And it's important to have multiple monetization and charging mechanisms in place that you could use with the developers to support your API marketplace. So in December of 2025, Ericsson and LotusFlare announced that Ericsson had invested in our company, and we have a strategic partnership based upon go-to-market with Ericsson. So what that means is that we're working closely with Aduna and Ericsson's ownership of Vonage as well to really help turbocharge the movement towards network API monetization functions. So we're excited to partner with Ericsson in this space. They're providing several elements that are necessary for operators, and we're providing that critical L1 functionality as well. In future years, we really see the need for simplification of the ecosystem so that operators can move quickly. One of the key barriers so far has been consent, and that's something that LotusFlare has been working hard on to build a international consent management platform that can be used by operators. So capturing end user consent and storing that consent and managing that, being compliant with local regulatory frameworks. Having consent in place really unlocks some of the more high value API use cases, such as location. So we really think that consent is important for the next stage of growth in the industry. One thing that would accelerate the adoption of network APIs is deployment of a consistent consent platform amongst multiple operators in the same country or in the same region. We think that would unlock a lot of new high-value use cases such as location APIs. We also think the introduction of AI bundled with APIs and making those programmable network interfaces AI compatible could help accelerate this as well. Membership in the Open Gateway has been critical for standardization and cooperation from our perspective. It brings together some of the brightest minds in the industry working on the same challenges around API monetization. It helps us share best practices and work closely with colleagues in the industry to really help move this forward and compete with some of the OTT players.